Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Teenager. 2 others confirmed dead in Lagos building collapse. 16-year-old student runs mad after alleged sexual molestation by popular Lagos hotelier. I have no interest in forming any coalition to take power in 2027, says Peter Obi. I am Gloria Atta with these and more. Welcome. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections, Peter Obi, has said he is not interested in any coalition with the aim of grabbing power ahead of the 2027 elections. Recall that there have been meetings and political realignments among former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, and Peter Obi, fueling speculations about a possible coalition to grab power from President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress in 2027. Speaking on the sidelines of a national conference on strengthening democracy in Nigeria, organized by the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, Center LSD, and other critical stakeholders in Abuja, Obi said the top priority for everyone should be how to rebuild the country and strengthen her institutions from wanton destruction.
For me, what is important is let's discuss Nigeria. Whether we are going to do coalition or not, let's talk about the future of the country. Because often we abandon the country and what we need to do, talking about power grab. I'm not interested in any coalition that is for purpose of taking power. It is about discussing Nigeria. How do we care about securing Nigeria? How do we care about the common person in Nigeria? How do we care about our children being in school? That is the most important thing for now. That's what we need to remove. Because what you are doing is that you're encouraging stealing of public money, because if I steal it and use it to win an election, then I get all the powers and everything, including immunity, not to be prosecuted. So we must stop it. That is what is driving the stealing.
On the issue of monetization of politics, Obi said there was a need to put an end to it.
It is now time for us to take action, because you can see where it brought us to. We now live in an insecure country. We now live in a country that is every day breeding poverty. People are suffering. So many people don't know where the next meal will come from. We now live in a system where on Friday, I visited, on day of celebration of education, I visited 15 schools where children don't even have a lab, talk less of one computer. That's what democrats have brought to us. And we must deal with it head on.
The federal government has begun a significant initiative to revive the Aluminium Smelting Company of Nigeria, a pivotal player in the nation's industrial landscape. The Minister of Steel Development, Shuaibu Audu, who made this known during a 2-day facility tour of the company in Ikot-Abasi, Akwa Ibom State, said the revival of ALSCON will boost the local economy, create jobs, and will strengthen Nigeria's position in the global aluminium market.
The Minister of Steel Development, Shuaibu Audu, while emphasizing the importance of resuscitating the project during his 2-day facility tour of the Aluminium Smelting Company of Nigeria in Ikot-Abasi, Akwa Ibom State, said the revival of Aluminium Smelting Company of Nigeria is not just about aluminium production, but an avenue to creating a robust industrial base that will attract foreign investment and stimulate economic growth, adding that the present administration is committed to making Nigeria a hub for aluminium production in Africa.
There is a blueprint that the plant can come back up in the next few years, However, there are some teething issues that the federal government, and myself as the leader of the steel industry and representative of Mr. President, has to resolve, particularly the ownership tussle between the BFI group and Rusal, which needs to be resolved very, very quickly. So as a federal government, we are going to do everything humanly possible to bring back this plant on stream within the shortest possible time, but those teething issues must be resolved.
Audu pointed out the potential for the company to attract investment, create jobs and generate revenue for the government.
It's important to note that in terms of the job creation opportunities that this plant can create, it can create both direct and indirect jobs to the sum of 20,000, very, very significant. The current owners of the plant have invested over $400 million in the plant. This is very, very critical to the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. Mr. President wants to grow the Nigerian economy to over $1 trillion by 2030. For that to happen, critical plants and national assets of this sort needs to come back on board. As you can see, the plant here has been shut down for over a decade. You know, we just have massive resources that are wasting away.
Managing Director of the plant, Zivilov Dmitry, spoke on the issues that have hampered the revival of the company.
We have put the London Court of Arbitration and we were able to get a ruling from the London Court of Arbitration to the effect that there were no irregularities.
According to the minister, during his visit to the company in Ikatabasi, the aluminum smelting company of Nigeria has been one of Nigeria's sad stories of companies full of potential corn monobone. Audu said efforts initiated by past administrations to bring the company back to life was unyielding, but however reassured citizens of the Bola Tinubu administration's commitment to end the sad narrative. Imefon Okun, reporting for Clever News.
The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has given the federal government a 2-week ultimatum to construct the Numan-Jalingo Road and immediately curtail the proliferation of small arms and light weapons around the country in the interest of peace and security. The youth-led association gave the warning during a visit to Taraba State Governor Abu Kefas at the government house in Jalingo, the state capital. We have the details. The leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, led by its president, Lucky Emunife, met with Governor Abu Kefas of Taraba State at the government house in Jalingo. The meeting, which was aimed at recognizing the governor's achievements, especially in the provision of free education in public primary and secondary schools, as well as a 50% subsidy in the tuition fees of all tertiary institutions, further conferred on the governor the title of Grand Patron of the Students' Association. Reacting to the recognition by the student body, Governor Abu Kefas said his government will continue to initiate policies to support education and empower the youths in the state. He also charged members of the association to be patriotic in their conduct.
My policy on education, I remain resolute. I cannot be deterred by anybody. Anything that I said I will do, by the grace of God, I will do it. We will support them, we will sponsor them, we will train them, and we will employ more teachers so that our children will come out the best.
NANS also inaugurated its Northeast Zonal Executives, where it issued a 2-week ultimatum to Nigeria's federal government to begin the construction of the long-dilapidated Numan-Jalingo Road or face a protest. The association also demanded that government identify sources of illegal small arms and light weapons and curtail its circulation in the interest of peace and security.
We are giving those concerns. If the road has not been awarded, it should be immediately awarded. And if it has been awarded, those in charge should go to site with immediate effect. The leadership of NANS is giving 14 days for urgent attention to that road.
Part and parcel of the solutions that we need to look into is that we need to be organizing issues or things related to how to attend these issues of proliferation of small arms.
NANS also passed a vote of confidence on Taraba's governor, Agbu Kefas, calling on other governors to emulate his impact in the education sector. Friends and political allies of the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, have felicitated with the governor for attaining the golden age of 50. In a surprise birthday celebration at his residence in Port Harcourt, Fubara expressed appreciation to his guests for making the day memorable, adding that all he wanted was some quiet time with his family, but his wife had other plans. The report.
Friends and political associates praised the governor for his significant achievements, describing him as a hardworking man who puts his people first.
Your simplicity in your affairs of our state, making sure that all parts of the states are carried along. You have proved that indeed God sent you. And you have the divine mandate of God to preside over the state.
Touched by the outpour of love, Governor Siminalayi Fubara assured the people of his continued humility and dedication to the service of the state.
I will still remain the Fubara that you know. Power will not change me. I will still make sure that what I hold here in life is God, and respect for people. I will continue to maintain it. Power will come, power will go, but you still remain who you are.
The governor further expressed optimism for a better and prosperous River State.
I will not do anything, act in any manner that will bring disgrace to myself or to every one of you that have come, that have decided, that is ready to sacrifice everything for us.
Governor Siminalayi Fubara also appealed to Rivers people to remain peaceful and law-abiding, adding that the progress of River State depends on every one of them. Sarah Daniel, reporting for Clearview News.
Domestic violence, which in most cases has had women at the receiving end, seems to have taken a reverse trend, as recent reports in the last 1 year indicate that there are at least 340 cases of women beating their husbands. According to statistics from the Lagos Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, DSVA quarterly report, 340 male reported incidences of domestic violence perpetrated against them by their wives between September 2022 and July 2023.
Statistics by the Lagos Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency about the unpleasant experience many husbands go through in the hands of their wives have cleared doubt about men's vulnerability to domestic violence. Similar reports by the police in England and Wales also recorded 149,248 incidents in 2017, further alluding to the fact that if all men who go through hell in the hands of their wives should speak out, the number could be scary. The big question is, how did domestic violence turn against men?
The aspect of torture, emotional torture, you know, you have a narcissist inside the house who is a woman, you too, you not have peace. You have a woman that spends what she shouldn't spend, maybe feeding money on what she wants to wear. You have a wayward woman inside the house. This is torture to a man. So those are violence, whatever. You see that man that killed the wife in Is it Anambra or wherever? Now everybody is after him. Yeah, he shouldn't have even killed her. He should have just packed her things out. But then you don't know the kind of emotional torture he has gone through inside the house. Because some women are very, very difficult, just like some men too.
In fact, I don't want to mention the village, but there's an experience in Kano. Somebody got married to a woman from the same village, not from far north, in the north central here. And there's an argument, misunderstanding, and before we say Jesus is Lord, the woman carry bottle and break it on her husband's head. Today, that man is no longer alive.
When you are not treating your husband well, and the man has not that opportunity to air out based on, or let's assume it's a pride, I cannot go and tell somebody that this is what my wife is treating you. All those things result to internal injury, in which those ones are even more harmful than the ones you broke somebody's leg.
Yes, some men experience it because of the hardship in the country. When the children are hungry, or when maybe the wife needed something and that thing was not there in that moment, it may result to fight or quarrel. But some men, because of the fear and the shame, they don't come out to say it, so that they will not know that their wife beat them or they fought with their wife. So some of them covered it up.
Actually, there are cases whereby women abuse men, or there's domestic violence as a result of maybe influence of drugs or intoxication can lead to that, and sometimes depression and frustration in life.
Why do men stay with an abusive wife?
But a lot of men stay in abusive relationships because, just like you said, what society will say, some of them, they want to give the impression that they have a perfect family. You get? And the church is not helping matters. They are telling you, no matter how bad it is, you must stay there. That the Bible does not brook of anything divorce.
In Nigeria, say some women, they also use African magic. Hypnotize a man and keep him in the house. Even men are also doing that now. You understand me? So this thing is very dicey. You tell a man, come and leave a house, this woman is not for you. Say, no, I go die put for that woman. It's not with his eyes. Also a woman like that, because we're having bad men who are also doing juju too. Now, hypnotizing you, stay in the house, you won't even know why you are staying there. Even in relationships, so everybody should be careful.
Mostly it's women that stay, or some of the women say because of their children. That because of their children. No, some women don't like to leave their children for another woman or another man to suffer. Women always be with their children, but men, they can just go out.
Yes, sometimes some factors generate it, like if there are children or some bondage that is difficult to separate, it keeps one to manage and wait for God's time.
How does a man tell his friends and relations that his wife practically beat him up?
Well, to me, I believe the major issue is this. It has to do with something that has to do with the, can I say, ego or self-esteem of men. You coming out to voice out that, your wife is beating you, it's not something that the society is used to. So I think that's one of the major reasons why men tend to keep all those abuse to themselves.
At times it's from pride. Some people, they grow ego that they can easily die on silence. As for me, I don't see anything wrong for you to tell somebody that me and my wife we fought yesterday, she hit me or she beat me up.
There's inferiority complex there. You feel my wife beat me up is something else. It can be a stigma.
It may interest you to know that the culture of silence amongst the male gender concerning issues of sexual and gender-based violence is also gradually becoming a thing of the past. According to the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, domestic violence against men is largely underreported, adding that 713,000 men were reported to have been victims of one or more types of domestic violence. Imefon Okon, reporting for Clever News. No, let me voice that part again in 1 year.
A teenager alongside two other males have reportedly died in the building collapse at Northern Vulture Estate, Chevron Drive. Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Olufemi Oke Osanyintolu, who made this known in a statement, said no fewer than 6 people were seriously injured. It was gathered that a young boy, about 15 years old, and 2 adult males were confirmed dead and subsequently bagged by emergency responders, while 6 victims were rescued alive and attended to by the medical team. The collapsed building was completely demolished and brought to ground zero, and the search and rescue operation concluded. However, the immediate cause of the incident is unknown, as further investigation will be conducted, the agency said. If you are just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Desk. We will be back after this break. Stay with us.
No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under a bushel. This is therefore a call to individuals, organizations, embassies, political office holders, and more to inform the world about their activities and achievements through documentaries. Here at Clearview, we parade the masters in the business of producing world-class documentaries. Show your stuff to the world by first contacting us through telephone number 0704-244-1177 or email us at clearviewnewsroom@gmail.com. Watch Clearview News at 7 p.m. daily, Monday to Friday on MITV, channel 255, DSTV, and on our YouTube and Facebook pages. Clearview News Desk. We clear the view, one time and for all time.
You're welcome back. A 16-year-old secondary school student in Lagos State has allegedly run mad after confessing that he was sexually molested by a popular Lagos hotelier at Bokno, Isheri Oshun area of the state. The incident, which rattled his parents, reportedly started before last Christmas when the student confided in his mother that he had a confession to make before the new year. It was gathered that the mother obliged her son of confidentiality, only to raise alarm after the boy told her that the owner of a popular hotel in the area lured him and 4 of his fellow students to his hotel and sodomized them, and warned them that they would die if they disclosed it to anybody. The shocked mother of the estranged teenager said a few minutes after her son opened up to her, he started misbehaving by talking to himself like a mad person. Meanwhile, the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 2, Adegoke Fayoade, confirmed the incident, stating that the investigation was still ongoing as the suspect is still in detention, pending when detectives will conclude investigations. Meanwhile, a serving Assistant Inspector of Prison, Akpaise Samson, has been arrested by the police in B Division of Warri, Delta, over the alleged defilement of a 15-year-old girl. This is coming as the Divisional Police Officer, DPOB, CSP Christopher Odo, rejected a 5 million naira bribe presented to him by some unidentified persons to sweep the matter under the carpet. It was gathered that the suspect on the 21st of January at about 11 p.m. accosted the young girl, forcefully took her into the correctional center, beat her up, pulled off her clothes, laid her on the ground where he had carnal knowledge of her without her consent, and was said to have allowed the girl go back home the following morning at about 5 a.m. According to reports, the suspect is currently undergoing trial from officials of the Nigerian Correctional Services who came into Warri from Asaba. It was gathered that the suspect, who faces dismissal, will be arraigned in court immediately as soon as trial is concluded. And that's the news. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. A A teenager alongside 2 other males have reportedly died in the building collapse at Northern Vulture Estate, Chevron Drive in Lagos. A 16-year-old secondary school student in Lagos has allegedly ran mad after confessing that he was sexually molested by a popular Lagos hotelier. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections, Peter Obi, has said he is not interested in any coalition with the aim of grabbing power ahead of the 2027 elections. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for joining us. I am Gloria Atta. Bye for now.